Okay, so at this point, you're probably wondering about your scene. It's looking like, well, you have your model. You probably have other items around your scene. And it's looking kind of gray, even with lights. So we need to talk about textures. So textures and materials is what makes a difference on your scene. So until now, you have been doing something pretty simple as far as just selecting an object like you did with the truck, assign a new material, and maybe you picked an Arnold material, standard surface, and just change the color, right? You pick the color here from the swatch, and that's as far as you took it with the truck, and that's fine. I also made a texture here for the head and the torso. We made the UVs just like we did for the human. So remember, always the texture is the very last tab on the attribute editor. So if you look up here, this is my attribute editor. Sorry, I opened the tool settings there. This is my attribute editor. So the last tab will have your material. If there's a bunch of stuff, just delete the history. You'll see your material here at the end. So there's Lambert 1, which is the gray. Here's Blaine 1. I guess I added a Blaine to this one. I don't remember doing that. But you can, let's just add a material to this and add our painting that I did. So again, you did it this way: assign new material. This window will ask us what kind of material you want. And this is kind of like when you go to the store and they ask you, do you want gloss or matte, or what kind of painting do you want? So you just picked in here, I just want, let's say, a matte color. So Lambert kind of looks like matte, or let's say Blaine, which kind of looks like plastic. So if I pick the material will have this attributes, right? And with the human, we added a texture to it. So we can do the same in here. We can click on the checker box here by the color of the material, and it will ask us, what do you want to add to it? So you may think, okay, I painted a material. I want to add my file that I made. So here's file, but that's not the only option you can add. So you have all these textures map you can use, and most of this are generated with a formula. So they're called procedural materials. So all these you can put in there instead of the file, and we'll talk about them here in a minute. But first, let's add the file I painted, because that's why we took the time to unfold the UVs. So I'm going to select file, and it's going to change color, telling me, hey, I need to find that file. Where is it? So by clicking on the folder, I'm going to let it know where it is. And here's the texture I painted. So this is where my UVs were unfolded. This was the torso, and this was the head. So I'm going to open it, and there's the texture on the torso. I should name this texture. So I'm going to select the torso again, so it takes me to the object. It shows me the material here. I'm going to change the name to torso and head. It's a good habit to name your materials so you can find them easy. So I'm going to select the head now, and do the same thing, add the same material. And I can just right click in here and say assign existing material. And because I named it, I can find it easy. So there it is. It's kind of stretched, so I might have to fix that. We can hit 3 and 1 and see if it makes any difference. It's a little stretch. So if you want to see what it looks like on our UVs, that we took so much time to do, let's open our UV editor by going to UV. Here's my window, and this is how my UVs are working. Let me just dim the picture a bit so we can see the lines better. There we go. So there's our texture here. I guess I could unstretch my head here if I select this shell, if I want to be picky, and just scale it a bit. There we go. Oh, I'm cutting into the blue here. But since this is just yellow, it doesn't matter if I just move these UVs farther back. I'm just gonna move them back. They're not really anything other than yellow, so that's okay. So there it is. I'm gonna close this now. You can also see the torso in here that we unfolded on the previous class. So there it is, and you could you know, fill the scene a lot of the scene with just textures like this. Let's say I select this and I want to add the same color than the suit here. I'll probably have to separate it from the hand. So I'm going to go into the modeling toolkit and separate these objects. I have to be in object mode. I'm going to separate. So now they're all separate. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to create a new material with the same color. So I'm going to make a new material. Say right click and hold, new material, and it's going to be a blend because that's what the other one, this other material was. And I'm going to, on the color, instead of trying to match the color by eyeball here, there's a little color picker. I'm going to pick the color picker and go over to the suit and select it. Now it's the same color, and I can name this suit or blue. There it is. I can make another material here for this. Assign new material, blend, and we'll call it skin yellow. And this one, the color of it will be, oops, the color of the face here. So now I can, since I have the materials here, I can just assign them. So I'm going to hit 3 on this to make it smooth. And I already have my material, so I don't need to make a new one. I can just right click on the object and say assign existing material. And where's my suit blue? Right there. You know, I can just do it to all these things. Assign existing material. Suit blue. Same with this. Assign existing material. Suit blue, and this one needs the hand material or the skin material, sorry. Assign existing material, skin yellow, there it is, and hit 3 to make it smooth. There it is. So there's you can texture a lot of stuff like this really easily.